What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of TheHeleyCast. As you can see, my guest today is ex-wrestler, hunter, and remind me what you do for a living. I'm sorry, Cade, my bad.
You're fine. Real estate managing specialist for the state.
Yes, that. That's a lot to say.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it over me. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is Cade Brock. The reason I had him on is because he's an avid hunter mainly. That's the reason I had him on. And he just got out of deer blind. Just, 45 minutes ago, give or take?
Right at about 6, I was able to get down.
Oh, you were out. Okay, about 2.5 hours ago. But still.
With the overcast, and I think legal is 30 minutes
30
after
minutes
sunset.
after sunset, yeah.
Usually I get stuck in the tree, though, because I'll have deer around, and I'm waiting for it to get good and dark, so that way they don't know what I am, and I can slip down and out.
Yeah, I get that. I haven't been deer hunting in a long time. I do a lot more bird.
Upland
and waterfowl.
Yeah.
I just got into waterfowl like the last 2 or 3 years.
I love waterfowl, but I love big game hunting. And usually if I get tagged out, I'm waterfowling hard. But it's just usually I have a deer picked out, and I'm going to chase him until I have no time left to chase him in the season.
I mean, when you have trail cams, you can always pick out it's kind of going to the grocery store, guys. You get to see your meal before.
Oh, yeah. And you know, I sometimes miss those days before trail cams. That what if. But then again, you think about it, how much time some guy spent at a spot that didn't have big deer, but it looked really good.
Right.
And always thinking, what's coming in next? And it just never came. And then trail cameras came out, and you had to go check them. I remember the days when I first started getting trail cams, the big old box things. You had to go get the SD card.
Or even the USB.
Yeah.
If you're going old, it used to be USB, then it went to SD cards.
They used to have the film ones. Like, you actually put film in. That was way before my time.
And those were just pictures. They weren't even video. Yeah.
I've never used a video. I use up so much SD space and battery.
Well, I think my dad has the ones that are like hooked up to cell plans.
Yep, so I have those now.
Okay, yeah, and you can literally just pull it up right now on your phone.
After college, I got into them.
Oh, God.
And during college, I remember I just had them SD card cameras. I liked them little small ones I could put in my pack. And I always had one on me because I would, there's a big scrape. This is new. I'm going to put a camera on it and see what's coming in.
Yep.
But those cell cameras, God, they changed the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's almost damn near cheating sometimes. It's just like.
But I will tell you this. I kind of thought that because, I had... Not this season. Actually, not this season. Not this season. It'd been the season last year and the season before that. I had 2 big deer I killed that probably wouldn't have been killed without that cell camera. Sending me that picture and telling me.
Not to sound creepy or anything, but on your Instagram, I saw a few nice big old bucks that you had taken pictures of.
2 years ago, I had one picture of this deer, and you remember Ruark?
AJ.
AJ Ruark would have been your grade.
Yeah, I remember
his
AJ.
little sister was the grade below me.
Okay.
Their mom was my 3rd grade teacher.
Okay.
And I hunt a 50-acre piece I have out there, and there's always pretty good deer on it. And it's just good location.
Yeah.
And, man, I had a buck that I just did my first food plot. Did a pretty good little food plot. We didn't get no rain. But finally got a rain. It started kind of coming up, had that little wheat shoots.
Yep.
And put a camera on it once we got that rain, and I saw the plot was coming up, because before that it was like it's just dirt, there ain't no point.
Right.
And put that camera up, and first night there was a stud, and I'm like, ooh, here we go. Never had him again.
Really?
November 6th, it was I'd already shot a really good deer that I thought was going to be October 7th. I shot a giant deer that I thought was going to be the hardest deer ever to kill, and I went in one time and killed him. And that deer, he never came in front of the camera. I had him on camera for a month going up to season, but he was just, he was odd. He never had a set schedule, and I had one daylight picture. And, of course, I'm in western Oklahoma chasing a whitetail there on the in-laws that I thought was going to be the easiest deer to kill, and I never laid eyes on him. So cameras tell you a part of it, but they don't tell you the whole story.
No. Western, they're a little bigger than what we get around here, aren't they?
They can. It's different. Like on my in-laws' land, for example, they're Geary. I mean, they're kind of like west, but they're more mid. They're not far west.
I got you.
but I've had bigger deer around here than I've had out there.
Really?
And
I feel like the further north you go, the bigger they get. Because
Payne County and Pawnee County's different. You got the river, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some big deer on the river.
There's probably hogs in Pawnee County, too.
Yeah. I shot a giant hog last year.
Nasty fucker, I bet.
500-pound boar. And was nowhere near a river.
You can't eat boar, can you? You can eat the sows.
You can try to eat the boar. I mean,
the key word try.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of people trying to grind them up and feed them to their dogs, and dogs won't even touch it. But we couldn't get them out anyways. I literally
500 pounds. Yeah, you want to get.
We needed a tractor.
Was that field dressed or just as is?
That was so. I grew up on a pig farm.
Okay.
My dad was a swine herdsman at OSU for 30 years.
Oh wow!
Before being the farm ranch coordinator for 13.
Okay.
And so I grew up around OSU.
That probably explains why I always considered you to be attached to OSU like Joe as well. Yeah. I thought it was just with the athlete side of things.
Dad was animal science and livestock judge.
Okay.
So he judged livestock in his college stint, and then he actually 2 times he coached the livestock judging team.
Whoa.
10 years apart as an interim coach. He didn't want to just be the coach, but they had somebody leave, and he's just stepped in. And 2 times he's batting 100. They won
2 for 2.
They won the livestock judging competition in college out of all the other schools. The 2 times he coached 10 years apart, which OSU livestock judging is pretty solid.
It is. I think recently I just saw an article about OSU livestock judging. So yeah,
and I mean, everybody.
You were in the ag thing too during high school,
and I grew up showing some hogs, and there's the big Louisville show, right? There's a giant show in Louisville, and there was a judging contest.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was 10, 12.
Louisville, Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was like 10 or 12. We were there to show pigs, and Dad's like, why don't you just enter it? I said, okay. And I wouldn't. My attention was on hunting and wrestling. I just showed pigs because Dad liked to do it. And, and I liked the pigs, and I liked showing, but I didn't, it wasn't.
Were you like the blonde chick where she's like,
oh, no.
You know who I'm talking about? The TikTok famous.
Gives you that.
The whole, what's with that whole thing? Like, so is there a way to show pigs, I assume, because she does something instead of just.
It changes so much. So, back when I did it was completely different. You wanted to have constant eyes on the judge.
Okay.
And, that's why I was weird. I knew I'd never win a show because my favorite pig was a land race. And the reason why I liked a land race is like a Chester.
Okay.
Has the flopped over ears.
Okay.
But their ears are bigger.
You're talking about breed of pig.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
You never win a show with one. You win a class, but you never win a show with one. It's usually a York, Hamper, Spot, or a Cross.
Okay.
Not a land race.
I'm not familiar with the whole names of the pigs. I know jerseys and cattle and everything, but
I wasn't a cattle kid. I was a pig kid.
See, that throws me off even more because I thought you were with OSU athletics and raised in the cattle.
Pigs.
So everything I thought about you is wrong. So you weren't a douchebag in high school, were you? Fuck. I was wrong again. It's just
I was a pig kid, man.
It's just the people, I guess, you know how you associate yourself with certain people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the people you hung out with were douchebags or mean or anything.
I hung out with everybody. But I was a social butterfly.
Every time I looked around, you were always with the OSU guys too. So I'm like, okay, this guy
with the OSU guys. But the people I hung out with the most in high school were Colin Whitman.
Okay.
Cody Seabrant.
I know Cody.
Yep, Colin Whitman, Cody Seabrant, Spencer Gaydon.
Yep.
Those were kind of my guys I always hung out with, and outside of class, that was who I hung out with a lot. And
you still hang out with Gaydon or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. He called me earlier today. He said, hey, I got 2 stand locations. What are your thoughts here? And I was like, well, it's going to be an east-southeast shifting wind. You might get it out of the south some. And he said, well, you might have just answered my question. I was like, okay.
There you go. That's awesome. See, before we started the podcast, I asked you if you made content when you hunted too.
Yep.
You and Spencer could make a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, Spencer, he does some filming for a group.
He does, doesn't he?
Yep, he does.
I don't know how much filming he does.
I always thought I'd get into YouTube and filming, and my
I
biggest
thought you
crux,
were into YouTube and filming.
my biggest crux has always been I never had time to edit, because in college wrestling I'd film some, like I have a booner. My biggest buck I've ever killed was a 175-inch 10, and I filmed the whole hunt.
No shit.
Had the whole thing on film.
You have a little arm and everything for the truck. Okay.
Yeah. And that was back with the muddy arms.
Yeah, I know.
Heavy, uncomfortable things. And then
Muddy still comes out with them, but they're lightweight now.
No, not Muddy. Well, they might have came out with a smaller one.
I think they're kind of like.
But I went from Muddy to Fourth Arrow.
Fourth Arrow. Okay.
They had some good stuff. And then I talked to my mother-in-law. I was like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, man, if there's one thing I could get, it'd be the Lone Wolf pocket arm. And I'm talking, this thing's that big. It links out to that long. But it is the lightest thing. It goes right in my pack. I don't pack, because most of them are like 2 or 3 pieces.
Yeah.
This is one piece. And it's solid. It does a good job.
Most of them are kind of like this, too, like where they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one's a three arm, it's 3 separate pieces, but it all folds up. And it when it's fully folded up, it's like that big.
That's awesome.
And I love that thing.
That's good. I'm jealous. Yeah. I've been looking at stuff like that for hunting too, because I have a YouTube channel that I'm trying to get lifted off called Northern Oklahoma Wild. Mm-hmm. It's where we do WMA. Technical difficulties all across the board. My left headphone isn't working. At least yours are working, right? You're good. Okay. Both lights went out. Got that fixed. What else can go wrong, guys? I don't know. God. This is terrible. Not professional at all. Oh, I still have pliers on the table. I did not clean. I just got home, like I said. So it happens. Things happen, guys. No, they don't. It's bad. Let me show you. So this is just one guy I follow. And I think you and Spencer would make great content. Like I already mentioned, obviously, but even without Spencer, I think you are such an interesting person. You could do your own content as well. I know that editing is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's always been my crux. 'Cause I think,
I can offer you my help if you need it. I have this laptop. You send me the files and stuff. I can chop things up and send you what I think is good. Mm-hmm. And then you can adjust them the way you want it or whatnot. But
I tried to talk my wife. My wife used to do photography and film some weddings, and and she could edit and stuff. I tried to talk her into doing it so many times.
My fiance is trying to talk me into making her my producer. She's like, just let me do it so like you're not alone. You can, and then we can edit together. I'm like, you just want to spend all the time you have with me. She's like, is that a bad thing? I'm like, no, it's not. No, not at all.
That was a trap.
Exactly. It's not. This guy, deer meat for dinner, he's been doing it for years, and he has also, he used to be a television hunter host as well, and it's just great content. He has, I think, one camera guy with him, and that guy does all the editing. I'm sure he does the editing as well here and there, but like I'm just saying, man. I'm not trying to push you into anything. I know,
I've been filming anyways. It's just a matter.
You send me content, I'll edit it and make it what you want it.
I think I have.
I'll give you my email after this.
Yeah, I think I have. I was counting. I got Choco Tops, what I called that deer, my booner. Got him on film. 2 deer with a traditional bow on film, old recurve.
Ooh.
And then I have a 33-yard kill with a longbow.
Jesus.
And then.
What'd you hunt with the longbow out of, like a stand? Really? Fuck.
Yeah, I shot a 30-pound bobcat out of Geary with that longbow out of a tree stand, and I tried to kill so many with my bow. I do predator hunting too, and I've killed a couple predator hunting, but I'd shot at like 4 with my bow over the years growing up. And
a lot of the traps behind you are more predator.
Yeah. The
bigger ones are beaver. Yeah. But I like going. Beaver's just easy. Yeah. They're dumb.
Yeah. I've never trapped much coons. Just help the turkey population.
Yeah, coons. They're so I do leather work, And this year I'm going to go hard on the furs so I can make my own leather and not have to keep buying a shit ton of leather. Leather is expensive.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is coon is so just greasy and just fatty. Just one
Spencer Gate on in high school.
One pellet takes forever.
He would trap so much. He'd sell it all.
Yeah.
And he I remember one year he's like, I got like $500 because he sold all that he had. And I was like, dadgum, we're missing the mark here.
But at the same time, it just isn't worth the work.
Oh.
And I know like a lot of trappers now just sell whole carcass with fur. And I mean, I'm like, if I'm going to trap, I might as well just keep the furs until they start doing something. And because I do leather work, I can make my own mitts. Yeah. I can do something and sell them and whatnot. So that's the plan for now, at least. I'm going that direction, at least. I don't know how it will go, but we shall see. Go back to this. Oh, no, I wanted to show you
that hunting video.
I can show you that hunting video as well, but I was going to show you
the Shane Gill.
Yeah, the Shane Gill is what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
With the military. I'll show you a little clip of it because I don't know how much we can show like copyright stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can skip this. Okay.
The journey begins, folks. What up, happy people? I'm Robert Arrington. This is Deer Meat for Dinner, and we are on our way.
See, he's just filming himself, you know?
Austin, he's in Illinois, and
self-filming.
That way.
It's not hard to do.
No.
You could be driving your truck, just
he's on his way to the airport,
talking like you're talking to someone in the truck or whatnot. And let's see how far we can get here. Because they do cooks too, like they'll do the whole cooking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Got me a pizza and a coffee.
Looks like they do some duck hunting too.
Yeah, that was either duck or goose.
Big trouble.
And have a wild giant bull elk walk by. My day's
good.
Yep, duck.
Oh my God. That one I hit a limb on looked like that.
Really?
The giant.
God, I want to go duck hunting so bad.
It's about to get probably pretty good now that we got this cold front starting to come in.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like this weekend coming up, I think I'm going to try to take the kiddos out. Where's the deer? Did they ever get one?
Must have been that right in there's that.
I'm trying to see where the ending is, or at least the shot.
Looks like it was before the right.
I don't know if you can get the shot anymore.
Oh, you can.
Does YouTube still do the kill shots? Because you can't do the catch and clean anymore with fish.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure they still do the kill shots because that's what everybody watches.
God,
that's the whole reason you watch. Now they probably want you to clean it up and not have blood everywhere whenever you walk up to it.
What's he got there? Compound?
Yep. I couldn't tell what kind. Almost looked like an elite or a prime. Well, it might be a Bowtech.
Nice turkeys, too. Damn, that property's nice as shit.
That was my first job out of college, was a turkey hunting guide.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were, a guide.
Yeah. That was my first job out of college.
That's awesome.
See that right
there? Okay, that's not.
Didn't have any success.
What happened here? This is the duck hunt.
Yeah. Might have just been, hey, we did some deer hunting.
That's practicing.
And so the boys were like, hey, let's go duck hunting. I was like,
yeah, I guess they didn't get one. At least, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, if you make a trip and have two things, you kind of, like, guarantee yourself on at least one of them.
Yeah.
I feel like birds definitely do more Okay, so Kate and I were talking about the military and pup play. Not for each other, no. Well, we were just discussing how like we don't get it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show
on Twitter, and I saw a picture of this guy, and he was retiring from the military. And when he retired, he posted a picture of himself, full military uniform, all of his medals, but he was wearing a furry mask, like a dog mask. And he posted, he said, "Now that I'm retiring from the military, I can come out and say I've been into pup play this entire time." And he tweeted, he said, "Officer Bow Wow out." And it said like hashtag service dog.
God. It was rough.
For real, that was an accident. But he tweeted it. So, of course, Russia and China's Twitter, they got a hold of it. They started talking shit. You know, they were like, look at our military. It was a bunch of like jacked, skinhead dudes. They're like, look at America's military. It was like transgender people, the dog general. I was on Twitter and I saw a picture of this guy.
Nope.
And I was on Twitter and I saw a
Nope,
picture of
okay.
this. I was on Twitter.
So
and I saw a
that
picture
carries
of this guy.
into
And he
the next
he was
thing.
retiring from the military, and when he retired, he posted a picture of himself, full military uniform, all of his medals, but he was wearing a. The gayer the army, the scarier. Forever, dude.
That's where he was leading into the whole thing.
Think of any army throughout history. Imagine them gay. Gay Nazis? Just when you thought those guys couldn't look any sharper.
Jesus.
Gay Vikings? Gay Vikings, dude. You're just some villager looking out on the shoreline. You see a bunch of Viking longships coming. You're like, oh no. It's the Vikings. They're going to rape our wives and daughters. Then they pull up their fucking rainbow flag on their boat, and you're just like, oh, fuck. Oh, that's way worse.
I was just saying, maybe our military's onto something, bro.
What was that? There's that UFC fighter. He's from Arkansas. And he was talking to some guy on a podcast, and the guy was talking about like it was like LGBTQ, and he's like, a war or something, and he goes, "Yeah, they'd have your back." And that one stuck with me because I was like, that was quick-witted.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think
Always
of
wears
his name.
the overalls with no t-shirt.
Oh God,
It's like my stature. He's not a big guy. It's gonna be some backyard fights.
Is it Bo Nickel?
No, it ain't Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel's big.
It's not John Jones.
No, it's
Did you see what John Jones did last night?
last night. No.
On Stipe. Mm-mm. See if we can get a little. Oh, this is the finisher.
Do you know what's in your cheap protein?
No, I don't care what's in my cheap protein. I do, but I
You think
don't.
his next fight will be Aspinall? That'd be
I
a good
don't
one to
know.
watch.
Brandon Gibson and Greg Jackson feel like a lot of John Jones's weaponry could be open here round 3.
Jones's jab looks really good.
So this was last night.
Mm-hmm.
Stipe with the right hand.
That's what Coach wanted. Coach wanted him to stay forward.
He's gonna throw a left leg soon.
John just looks fast.
I love hearing Joe commentate.
Oh yeah.
And Stipe looks slower than he used to look.
Yes.
Ooh.
Nice uppercut by Mitch.
Yep, Jones acknowledged that and the right hand.
I love how everyone's yelling. There's Elon and Don. Right there.
This is what Jones
You see him?
needs to keep him doing though. Backing up.
Oh yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
There's Elon.
This range, Jones can really
Can't
pick
miss
him
the red
apart.
tie, bro.
No.
Stipe's throwing very few kicks.
It's when Stipe blitzes him that Jones has to go into full-on retreat.
Watch his left leg.
Because he doesn't want to deal with the pressure. Art of power.
Nice elbow from Jones, and now
Nice right hand.
Stipe is slower.
Mm-hmm. How old is Stipe now?
Ooh.
Hesitant to pull the trigger.
Ooh.
That's a big right hand.
Hold on.
He hit him clean.
Watch
Walked right
this.
into it.
Right here, right. God!
Hesitant
Straight
to
right.
pull the trigger. That was a big right hand by John.
That right hand hurt Stipe bad.
I guess it's not like boxing where you keep your hands.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, boxing, it's like, oh, I'm either getting hit in the ribs or the face. Fighting, it's a different game.
Did you ever think about doing this after
yeah.
wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Looks really good.
Because of Daniel?
Yeah.
Stipe's waiting on
Daniel is also a graduate of Oklahoma State, too.
Yep, he was my kid's club coach growing up.
Really?
looking for openings that aren't coming.
I think I wrestled for like a year, and he might have been my coach as well.
Yeah, he was here for a while, and then he left.
It was when Cale Butler wrestled.
Oh, hello, Cale Butler. He's my cousin.
Is he really?
Yep.
That makes sense. Okay.
Stipe just looks so stiff when he's trying to close the distance.
God. I know, guys. I don't watch much USC on here, but you're going to watch.
At heavyweight, in most instances, it's all these kicks, the knees, question mark kicks, then a jab. Most heavyweights don't throw all that. It's a lot of
You don't
power
watch
shots.
much?
I do. It just depends on if I'm where a fight's
Did you watch
watched.
the Tyson Paul fight?
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Doesn't have anything behind it.
I don't.
Nice left hand.
Listen,
I don't know if it was just the age or if it really was scripted.
you heard about that too? I heard about it too. I think it's both.
I do too.
I'm disappointed it was scripted. Here's the thing. If Jake, pause it real quick. If Jake had KO'd him and knocked him out, yes, it would have looked bad for Jake, but at least at the same time, our idol, someone we grew up with, we finally see that he's done. You know what I mean?
Then, though, like, you knew he was done. But the thing is that
The
gets
first
me,
round, I knew he was fucking done, dude. Like, he got some quick ends, but it just wasn't
he looked
Tyson.
different, though, the first round, though.
I'll admit that, yes. He
Like,
looked fiery in the
he
first
still
round.
had some
But
fire,
the end of
still
that-
had some swag.
The end of the
swagger.
first round, you knew.
Well, I think he cracked him. I think he cracked him one time real good. And he went, "Oh, I
think
ain't
so.
gonna get paid."
Yeah.
So he shut himself down.
Yeah.
Because he's always had that nervous tick of chewing his glove, but he was doing it like he was trying to restrain himself.
That's true. I didn't notice that.
And you're telling me that he's gonna put his hands up like this and get cracked 4 times on a jab? He's
Not Iron Mike. No, it doesn't make sense.
He's
It's
gonna
scripted.
box up.
It's got to be scripted.
But I mean, that's.
I
the
wanted
thing.
I wanted someone to KO someone. That's really what
I just want to see him fight.
at the same time, I wanted Netflix to fucking work.
we were able to get it to pretty well work. You just had to exit out and click back in.
That's what I kept on doing, dude.
Yeah, it sucked. But what gets me though is like, you gotta give it to Jake, man. He knows how to promote. I wish I had half the money he has.
I'm still not a fan of his, but I,
No.
like LeBron. I hate LeBron.
Yeah.
But I'll give it up
I
to
want
him.
to see him fight. He's fought one actual active boxer that's around his age, and he got beat.
Do you know who I want to see him fight?
Who?
Khabib.
That'll never happen.
You don't think so?
No. He's calling out all these guys. Why don't
Who did
you?
he just call out?
He called out McGregor.
That's right, Connor.
It's like and he said no weight class will fight in the ring. It's like, dude, he will kill you in a ring.
McGregor?
Yeah, in the octagon. UFC rules. I don't care about your size.
Okay,
you are a lot
UFC
bigger than
rules.
him.
McGregor does have the upper hand, but McGregor's age.
Well, not even the age though.
Was McGregor?
Because you got to say Jake can fight a little bit,
But
and he's
big.
220 pounds.
He's big.
And McGregor's probably what, 180, 190. I mean, not when he's bulked up, but when he's in fighting shape, he's probably 180, 190 before he starts his cut.
Probably.
I mean, isn't he 5'8", 5'9"?
We're about to find out.
Might be 5'10",
5'9",
5'9".
170.
Yeah.
Featherweight, welterweight, or welter. Is it Walter or welter?
He wasn't no 170 whenever he was in that movie,
with
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
He was every bit of 180, 190 in that one.
Yeah.
Hell, I walk around at 175, which I'm a different body shape than him. But
Is Islam still fighting?
Islam's still fighting.
Is he?
Yeah.
Khabib's done because his dad was his trainer, right?
Yeah,
and
Khabib's done, which he went out on top. You can't.
29-0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude's an animal.
John Jones, Michael Chandler. Why is Michael Chandler?
Didn't Dustin Poirier just hang it up?
No, please tell me he didn't.
I thought his last fight I watched, he was done after that.
I hope not.
He might have just been thinking about it, but I thought I saw that was going to be his last fight.
UFC 309.
I think that's the one I watched.
Won't set a potential rematch with Dustin.
And he ain't done.
Well, Dustin still has to settle with McGregor, right?
I don't know if he will. It's been a while since we've seen McGregor in the cage.
You think he's going to ever return?
I don't know.
Let's finish this.
Things just don't work like they used to.
Yeah.
And you wonder if tonight Stipe's learning that being away all this time and being 42, sometimes things just don't work.
Yeah, he's done.
But again, he's still trying to fight.
Ooh. This is where the kicking comes in. This is what I'm talking about right here.
And if he's not getting out of the way of that, John's just going to keep chipping away at him from the outside.
Again, it's just right here, right? He's standing at a range that Jones is just the best in the world at. This kicking range.
How old are they? They're 30s?
Who?
These guys? They're in their 30s, aren't they?
I think Stipe might be close to 40. I don't know if he's there yet, but he's close.
Great chin,
But it's the speed difference is very evident.
Man, the way Joe talks on his podcast, he makes these guys sound like sometimes young. And then you watch them and...
I mean, Joe, and he's 55, 60, he's
58.
58.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. He just turned 58 recently.
They're young men to him.
True. Here, this is it.
Oh, yeah, spinning back kick, baby.
Right there.
Oh, that was a perfect.
That's it.
Perfect liver
It's done.
shot, too. Ooh. Ooh.
Listen to Joe. RFK's there? I didn't know that.
Spinning back kick to the body.
Spinning back kick.
Followed by the Trump dance. Wow.
the greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time, adding to his appreciable legacy by knocking out the most decorated heavyweight champion to ever do it, Stipe Miocic, in round 3.
That was beautiful. It was a great performance from start to finish. Just strategically
He's good.
breaking
That
Stipe
roundhouse
down.
kick was crazy.
Left Stipe with no answer.
Oh, yeah, spinning back kick. And he hit
spinning.
it
Yeah,
clean.
spinning.
Right to the body, right to the liver.
I mean,
Right here.
that right hand, I mean, that's nasty.
That'll shut you down too.
That hurts my... That just hurts watching.
Like that stuff. They say like, man, when you get hit there, like you think you can just body it and take it, but your body just shuts down.
Right to the ribs. Nasty.
Unbelievable performance by
God.
Pitched the shutout against what we thought was probably his biggest test.
I don't know why I keep watching, but Jesus.
especially in this weight class.
Yeah.
You expected it to be tougher.
It
and
looked
it wasn't.
like a heavyweight, but moved.
I'm not gonna lie. The undercards for the Jake and Tyson fight were good.
That's the key, right?
That gal.
The girls.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She.
This is what I wanted to talk to you, or wanted to share.
That he was throwing around heavyweights when he was a light heavyweight.
The girl fight was called horrible. There's no way.
It should have been
that-
done.
Well, not even that. That Taylor girl that ended up winning the fight by decision should not have won.
No, because she
headbutted 4 times.
Oh, she
but-
leans forward.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, she leads with her head, but that's not even where I'm saying it. Like the percentage of hits, percentage of
Yeah, she
shots
didn't land
thrown,
as many as.
didn't land as many. The percentage of shots landed as thrown was not as many.
Mhm.
The amount of punches thrown was more. Like, if you just look at it from that standpoint, there's no way that she should have won, much less with the point deduction on a headbutt.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it was a war. I think that was the best fight of the night, by far.
The whole eye thing and everything.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I was like, they're gonna call this. I was watching that. I was like, they're gonna call this.
A heck of an eye.
And she kept on saying, "No, fuck it, let's go."
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fucking woman there. God, I wouldn't fuck with her. Jesus Christ.
Tough.
Oh, I bet it hurt. Monday
bet.
morning.
I bet.
Saturday morning.
I was gonna say during the fight, it would be just like a burn, because I've gashed my eyes in wrestling and wrestled through it and stuff, and it kind of burns, but you don't really notice it in a moment. It's that next day or two, which with hers, that thing was massive. You know, once it got stitched up, that thing swelled shut.
Oh, God.
Without a doubt.
Ugh. Oh, I got that image. Her eye was just, at one point it flopped.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Like
bad. It was.
Yeah. And it was in a place. It wasn't, like I had a big gash right here from being dumb back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But hers was right on that side lip where, you know, it was affecting.
Yeah.
She just fought through it. Tough.
Lots and lots of blood. But, I mean, what I've heard is boxing is a lot more blood. Like, so what I've heard is when you see blood in UFC, it's more of a nose kind of thing. Like, they get you in the nose.
You'll get some cuts if somebody's throwing elbows or
but
something.
But with boxing, it's more cuts on your face. You're going to get more, you know, it's more brutality is what I hear. Yeah. Also, you use different weighted gloves for classes. Yep. UFC, do they also
4
do that?
Ounce. I think they're like 4 ounces.
The
2
UFC
ounces.
gloves?
They might be 2 ounces. They're just, you know, they're about that much padding.
It's just for the knuckles, basically.
Yeah. I think.
Do they have different weight classes for those? Like, no. Okay, I know boxing is different than.
Yeah, they're pretty much all the same. I mean, they got sizes. I'm sure you know.
You're right.
You take Brock Lesnar's hands and you put those same gloves on Mighty Mouse.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna fit.
Holy shit!
They're gonna look like boxing gloves.
Yeah,
but
fuck. God, Mighty Mouse.
The Mighty Mouse was a man amongst children.
Oh yeah,
he was so technical.
God damn it. Some of the greats, I mean, John Jones is now up there.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say Khabib is the greatest of UFC? Going undefeated?
Well, it wasn't even that. It was that he was so dominant. And
That's
he
true.
beat big names.
That's true.
He beat big names, and he was dominant about it. And it was his style, man. Like, you know, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't like he's going to go out there and roundhouse kick you or go out there do a you know, spinning back fist.
Yeah.
He was going to go out there, take you down.
Take care of business.
And talk to you while he beat the hell out of you.
How do you like that? How do you like that?
Yeah. Let's talk now.
Let's talk now.
Let's talk now. And he had you tied up where you couldn't do nothing about it, but look at him and get hit.
That was wild. I forgot about the McGregor. Let's talk now. Yeah. Let's talk now.
But he would take you down. He had a hell of a blast double.
I lost money on that one.
I
was dumb.
I didn't bet no money. I'm never bet.
It was when I first got into like the UFC, and I was like, everything was just McGregor this, McGregor that. I was like, you know what? I got money on McGregor.
I looked at it from this.
Didn't even look at Khabib.
Khabib gets him on the ground. Khabib's gonna win. He's gonna control the fight. He's gonna win. If McGregor can keep him off and keep it a stand up, that's his ball game. And I didn't think he'd stop him. When I saw McGregor actually, you know, he's awesome. But when I watched him working on his wrestling a lot, it's like, dude, the only way you're stopping Khabib with wrestling defense is if you've wrestled your whole life.
Right.
Like, you're not going to get in 1 year enough to be able to stop him.
Khabib's training is completely different than anyone else's training.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a nice weight room. It's all... Where is he from? Kazakhstan. It's all just mountains. Like, I remember watching the Nelk boys visit him. Yeah. And, I mean, he has a gym. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But it's nothing like the United States.
No.
It's old Soviet workout equipment.
But, I mean, I think a lot of those guys, is it Sambo? It's a certain deal that they started with. It has a lot of wrestling mixed with it. And also jiu-jitsu. It's like a mix of the two. It's almost like our jiu-jitsu no-gi that we do here, in the States. It's very similar, but I think it's even broader. I think it even has a little, I think think you can headbutt. There's something more broad to it than that. It's not just jiu-jitsu.
I feel like it's a little military too. And like the military learns that shit too. Like,
and he was like how he would take guys down and just tie up one arm. And then beat you with the other arm.
We were blessed to witness him.
Oh, he was fun to watch.
Like people talk about Ali, Foreman.
And I was biased toward him a little bit because he was boys with Daniel Cormier, who I've known my whole life pretty much since I got in wrestling when I was like 5. My first wrestling coaches were Daniel Cormier,
right,
Jamel Kelly, and then you remember Jace Depperschmidt?
Yeah,
his dad Marty Depperschmidt. He was part of that kids club.
Jace is still in town too, isn't he?
Yep, he's
was he a class ahead of me?
Yes.
He was 13?
Yep.
Okay.
He might have been a senior when I was a freshman. He might have been 12. I think he was 13.
13 or 12.
He was 12 or 13.
Because I think he was wrestling too, wasn't he?
Yeah, because I know he was on the team when I was a freshman. But I can't. I think that was his senior year. I think he was.
That was his senior year because I remember. Didn't he just come out of nowhere like at one point? Because
he was good.
Who am I thinking of? That was a great wrestler that just came out of nowhere for Stillwater and then went and wrestled for OSU. He was short, kind of had a chin strap in high school.
Short.
I mean, all of you guys were short. No offense.
That's what I was throwing me. So we had Tristan Moran. We had me. We had Joe. We had Chandler Rogers.
It might be Chandler Rogers.
He wasn't really. I mean, he was 5'9", 5'10".
Maybe not then.
He was 165 pounds. So if he wasn't a little guy, then.
No, it was a little guy. He was short, but he could beat my ass for sure.
Jacob Fontenez, he ended up at OSU for a year or two, but he didn't have facial hair.
Can't remember. I want to say it was Jace, but it might have not been Jace. It was like Garrett something.
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe.
So we had me, Tristan Moran, Joe Smith, Chandler Rogers, and then Jacob Fontenez. We had 5 guys from our high school team end up at OSU for.
Well, it's not you and Joe, obviously, or Jace. So it's one of those other guys. I don't know. I'd have to put pictures to faces or whatnot. I have a high school yearbook that I might just go back and look into now. But, man, we've talked about wrestling, talked about hunting.
Yep. Heck, yesterday.
You're wearing a Ducks Unlimited hat.
I'm going to start doing some Ducks Unlimited auctions for the Cushing chapter. I got a couple buddies that.
What does that consist of? Like, what do you mean by duck? Like, so is
like
Ducks,
I'll be their auctioneer
for Ducks Unlimited.
Yeah, for the Cushing chapter. Yeah.
So, walk me through what.
Like they'll have items and they'll give me, hey, this is what this really should go for, and then I'll, say it's supposed to go for $500. I'll probably start it off at like $750.
Gotcha.
And I'll just, start rattling and.
Okay, it's an actual. Okay, when I'm thinking, because you said real estate as well.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of
leases.
The land. Okay.
So those are leases.
Ducks Unlimited has a few water sanctuary, or not sanctuaries, but hunting areas, don't they? Kind of?
Yeah, but I don't think they do much with that. Like what they'll probably auction off are like sets of camo or trip or
gotcha.
Or gun.
Ducks Unlimited is
waders. There's no telling what they'd auction off, but
is Ducks Unlimited the same guys as Ducks Commander?
No. Ducks Unlimited is like your National Wild Turkey Federation.
Oh, I was 2 days years old when I learned that. I didn't know that. I thought they were the same people.
And no, the Ducks Unlimited is like I think they try to build money and then it goes back toward
to the wildlife management
to the sanctuaries for ducks. Well, not even sanctuaries, but like the WMAs and stuff.
I know Drummond has a waterfowl area that was made up by Duck Unlimited.
And then you have like Carl Blackwell out here. They sell they sell duck blinds each year.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I don't know how many there are. I think, don't hold me to it. I think there's 18.
I think there was
20.
18
like
or
that.
20, something like that, yeah.
But, like them, I hear them things go high.
It's an auction too, isn't it? Like, or a raffle.
A raffle. I think it's an auction.
Auction or raffle. One of the two.
Because if they go high, it has to be an auction, because a raffle would be like, hey,
well, I know when
everybody's got equal chances.
I know when I was in high school, there were 12 blinds out at like Carl Blackwell, and it was a raffle.
Yeah.
And it was $200 to enter the raffle, kind of like Black Bear.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which, I mean, we can
I think it's an auction now.
Really? Okay. There's not a raffle for Black Bear anymore here. We just can buy a Black Bear license, can't we? Or is there still a raffle?
Yeah, Black Bear, you can be down, it's a quota, I believe.
Okay.
So, like, down Broken Bow area, for instance.
Gotcha.
I think that's the area you can actually hunt them.
Really? Okay.
And it's a quota. So, like, if I went down there and the quota's still open, I could kill one. But
I don't know if I'd want to go bear hunting. I just feel like leave them.
Oh, my life, like, one hunt. You know, like, I'm going to hunt elk. I want to go on some cool hunts. You know, big sheep, bighorn sheep up in the mountains and stuff like that. But, like, a moose, caribou, those are always on the list. Moose is pretty high up there. But a Kodiak grizzly with a bow is my dream hunt.
That'd be interesting.
I don't think I'll ever do it because it's like $30,000.
That, but also, I mean, just do it the right way because, like,
I'd have to do it with a bow.
Well,
I'm a bow guy. I just have to do it with a bow.
I can't remember if it was Alaska under the first Trump administration. I mean, Trump didn't know what he was doing his first administration because he had idiots, but they passed. I think it was for like Wyoming, Montana, and Alaska, kind of the rural states where they were having predator problems. So they allowed hunters, even from out of state, to go into dens, and just slaughter the grizzly bears, the wolves.
I'm not sure if that's like Montana, for instance. You're not allowed to kill a grizzly unless it's proven self-defense. Like,
gotcha.
say I'm where we hunted when I went.
Most of Montana is a fucking wild life preserve.
When I went to Montana, hunted elk this year, where we were at was not grizzly bear country. But say we were in the western half of the state, big grizzly bear country. Right. And I was told, hey, if you have to self-defend yourself and kill a grizzly, you're going to have less questions if you shot somebody than you did that grizzly.
Oh, yeah.
And
crazy. Colorado just released wolves a few years ago.
That was the dumbest thing.
That's the dumbest fucking thing. And you can't kill them in Colorado, even for self-defense.
No. And I think there's still a lot of people probably killing them like
coyote. Fuck. I hope they are.
Yeah. Just don't get caught.
My thing is also, I mean, it's sad that we have to
imagine the fine.
It's sad that we have to kill predators that used to be there, but we took care of it to the point where we're like, this is how things have to be.
The issue is
there's plenty of these fucks in fucking Canada.
Yeah.
You know? And also
the
Canadian
wolves is that, there's a lot of livestock.
Yeah.
Well, what's easier to kill? A cow and a calf,
or a deer, or an elk,
or a mule deer, or an elk. Yeah. That's wild. Like, it's gonna be the cow calf. That's fast food.
Mm-hmm.
That's slow. It's
easy.
Easy.
McDonald's.
And then you hear about places where they get a big herd of wolves.
Yep.
And they end up they're not even eating. They're just killing for the sport of it.
Well, there was I don't know how often you listen to Joe Rogan, but he had a guy on that does mountain lions.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy discussed that this mountain lion was killing livestock.
Yep.
And at first they thought he was doing it for fun. Well, come to find out there was a pack of wolves tracking this mountain lion at the same time.
Letting the mountain lion do all the hunting.
But no, the mountain lion was outsmarting the packs of wolves because what it was doing was it was killing two at a time, leaving one, dragging the other away so it could in a tree for it to eat.
Yep.
So the pack could have something and leave it alone.
I remember seeing that. I do.
That's crazy. Like, they're smart animals.
Oh, they're not dumb.
You ever seen have my Joe Rogan moment, you ever seen a pack of wolves take down an elk?
No.
Just from the asshole first. Just
No.
You haven't seen a elk taken down by a pack of wolves?
No.
You need to watch Joe Rogan more, dude. He'll show you everything.
Well, I usually listen to him when I'm driving around.
Yeah, I listen to him
watch
a lot more,
it.
yeah.
But
I get it.
Yesterday, I mean, whenever I pulled up, you asked me if I saw or shot anything. It's like, no, man, I saw some does. But yesterday, my buddy, one of my best friends, he's from Tulsa area. His name's Garrett Elias. We had a buck where I killed my pig and my deer last year, he showed up this week, and he's a good one. And, you know, I think he'd have been my number 3. He wouldn't have been my biggest, but he'd have been my number 3. And, you know, for my buddy, it was going to be the biggest. Damn. And I was giving him heck because he wasn't going to come up yesterday morning. Saturday morning, he wasn't going to come. And I said, hey, buddy, either you're in that tree and you kill him, or I'm in that tree and I'm going to kill him. And he's like, you're a bully. I was like, no, I'm telling you, that deer's going to die Saturday morning. And, you know, we hadn't had pictures of him since Thursday, but my gut was telling me that deer's going to come in. And he's like, oh, I'm coming. I was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? I haven't had much on my cameras. I'm going to give my place a break. I'm just going to go sit with you. So I got to go sit with him, and it was a 20-minute hunt. Buck walked right in, shot him right at legal, and deer went 100 yards, and it's his best bow buck, best gun buck. It ended up, it's a mainframe 10 with 4 additionals, went 166. And damn, man, dude, it was one of those experiences where, you know, I got to watch him do it. I was range finding. I have it on film, but it was just right at that low light where you could just see the silhouette.
See, people like PETA and people like ask, like, how do you take a life of an animal? I'm like, well, you ever watch Nature is Metal? You have Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go check out Nature is Metal, and it will definitely show you a pack of wolves eating an elk from the asshole.
Thing about a lot of people that don't understand about deer hunting.
And the elk is still alive, by the way. They don't kill anything.
Yeah, like our area, for instance, if we don't deer hunt,
oh God,
the amount of
car wrecks,
traffic accidents, the amount of detriment it would be to the population as far as a healthy herd.
What, the grass
wouldn't. We already have cattle, but it would be.
But if we let the population just go,
but
the grass would be very few. And
because they say, well, you're hurting them. Well, if you think about it this way, most hunters with an ethical shot, that deer doesn't even know what happened, dead within seconds, minutes at most, on a good ethical shot.
Right.
Like my buddy's buck yesterday, for instance, that deer died in maybe 5 seconds.
Yep.
And he had no idea what happened.
The adrenaline is what was taking him 100 yards or so.
Let's take that same deer. Say nobody's hunting him. 5 years goes by. Well, now he has no teeth. Now he's getting pushed around by little bucks. Now he can't eat. He can't drink. He is just deteriorating away. You know, and it's a slow, agonizing death. There's no predators.
No.
It's like, well, let's do the wolves. Well, guess what happens then?
Too many wolves.
You have too many wolves because there's nothing killing them. And then they start detrimenting not only the deer population, but cattle farmers, livestock, everywhere. And it's Then
you open it up to hunters, and then you extinct the wolf population, and then the deer come back.
Well,
it's a circle of life.
1940s, Oklahoma, like if there
we
was
did have wolves here.
If you saw a deer in 1940,
you're talking about
it made
deers.
the newspaper. But now, through the work of conservationists, and that's when I say that, I mean hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a healthy, like Oklahoma's high up on the list on places to go.
Yeah.
And that's because of hunters.
Nebraska's still pretty far up there, though. You ever gone hunting in Nebraska?
Not Nebraska.
I went hunting in. Sorry for cutting you off.
Oh, you're good.
I went hunting up in Minnesota, and we got like a little fort.
I went South Dakota, not this year, but the year before this, last year, and went on a pheasant hunt.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It was so awesome.
Pheasant hunting,
and it really like stuck it out because the week prior.
Mm-hmm.
I went pheasant hunting in Hugoton, Kansas, and that was not very good.
No.
Like, their numbers are way down.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, and then we didn't have dogs, which, I mean, South Dakota, we didn't have dogs either, but we were in Hugoton, and we had like 15, 16 guys, we'd line up and we'd walk. And it wasn't ideal weather. And then, of course, one of the days I'm gone, the big buck I was chasing, daylight's like a son of a gun, first time daylighting all year. And, I'm like, hey, we're not really having a good pheasant hunt. I'm going to get back while the getting's good. So I hauled back, and of course he ain't daylighting. I was like, you son of a gun. And then, but anyways, we got to go to South Dakota, and South Dakota was, after the Hugoton adventure of I saw 5 the whole time. I shot my gun twice till we get to South Dakota, and we're driving to where we're going to go hunt, and we're passing rooster.
In the ditch?
Yeah.
See, so my uncle told me when he was he's in his 50s, 60s. He's probably in his 70s, actually, come think of it. When he was our age, he talked about how South Dakota, when probably laws weren't really that big, when whatnot, he said him and, like, I don't know, 3 truckloads of guys would drive from Minnesota over into South Dakota, and they'd have a limit in less than 5 minutes because back then, I guess the bird population was so big and they were used to hunters coming that you could literally drive your truck over them and just, and literally my uncle's like, you could back in the 60s, 70s, you could go up to the roosters, grab them by the neck, ring them, not have a shot in them. And you'd be limited within minutes.
Yeah. And it was shocking to me because those guys are like, yeah, our numbers are down. And I'm watching.
Bullshit.
I'm watching like 50 roosters piling out of this corn patch. I'm like,
that's down?
What are you talking about? And I also got to mule deer hunt while I was there.
Oklahoma doesn't have pheasant, even though it's on our.
We have pheasant.
We got pheasant, but
not like
Kansas.
I guess Tonkawa area's got a pretty good pop.
Really?
Pretty good population.
I might go check out the.
I know there's some guys that go on that OLAP and will flat smack.
We might have to smack some. I'm not trying to invite myself, but
I've never been.
We might. I just
know
have to go.
I just know I've heard from guys that have gone and done it, and they'll go have good success. But
I might have to slap that. I was gonna try Drummond, that water preserve over there, but I don't know. What I'm hearing is it's more waterfowl than upland. I mean, it has quail, I guess.
The quail population's coming back.
That's what I've heard too.
Wow,
until we slaughter them.
Yeah, well, that place that
every time I heard a few years ago the pheasant population was coming back, and then it was like, oh, there's like we've only seen 5 all year. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, but like the 50 acres that I was talking about earlier. It's you go sit in that stand on a blue jay beautiful morning, and you will hear nothing but quail all morning. And
really,
like there'll be like 2 or 3 coveys of 20 to 40. Like the population on that place is perfect. Which, granted, if you could make a quail like a small
habitat,
quail habitat place, that place is it. It's got a hay meadow, and it's got a bottom that's sumac, and it's just it's just meant like it's perfect for quail and deer. Turkey, not so much. Turkey, not
really?
So much. No, turkeys never come on that place. They always they stay on the other side of that road.
Milo or whatnot?
No, there's a right across the road. There's a little 80-acre piece that they always hang out on, and the guy keeps it mowed low, and it has good roost trees right around there, and that's where they always hang. Now we've killed birds calling them across.
I bet.
But it's no easy feat to call them across a blacktop road and 2 barbed wire fences.
No, that can't be easy.
You spend more time trying to work the bird than it's like, I can go find another bird somewhere easier.
Oh, yeah. I bet. Man, we have been talking for about an hour and 1 minute. That's good. We're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing good. Eventually, I was listening to Joe and Elon's recent podcast, and Elon said, hour number 2, hour number 3 is really when you get to know the person, And I'm like, I need to get more equipment because I could sit here and just talk to you for 2 more hours about hunting because I love hunting. I'd get more into the whole trapping thing because and
that's where I'd learn stuff because, I know how to trap. I know the very general basic information.
Right.
But I've never dove off into it because I've always been so big into my cat and mouse with big deer.
Mm-hmm.
And I love predator calling.
See, I enjoy doing the predator
because it's
calling.
about the only thing I'll shoot a rifle at. That will with consistency.
Yeah.
Like I look forward to breaking out my 22-250.
Yeah. I was just about to ask you, will you shoot them with?
And thump them with that. It's my first gun my dad ever bought me.
Really?
It's a Remington Model 700 22-250, and I'm a flat killer with that gun. I've done some cool things with that gun. There was one, I was back in college. I was in college at that time. Had a buddy, Tristan Wills, who wrestled at OSU for a year before transferring to Little Rock.
Okay.
And then Cooper Hicks, who went to OSU and became a vet student and graduated. He's working as a vet in Pryor right now.
Okay.
But I was good buddies with both of them. And anyways, we go hunt a place, and we call this dog up. and I was viciously hungover, viciously, like I hadn't started throwing up yet, but you knew it was coming.
Oh yeah.
And this dog just runs right up in there, 50 yards. Oh, no. Click,
boom.
Oh shit! I didn't load the gun, and I didn't have it in the chamber, and the dog starts running, and I jack a shell in, and it's it's not hoofing, it's doing their little bounce trot, and it's on a hill, and so I'm just all I can see is him bounce up, and I'm like
timing him,
wow, and I was like, and I'm pretty sure I just smoked that coyote, but I may still be a little feeling good, and they're like, you didn't smoke that coyote. I said, Tristan, come down here. I dead pinned him perfect. And we walk back up with that dog, and my buddy Cooper, he's a big predator caller and hunter. They enter contests all the time. And he goes, you will never do that again. I said, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Holy shit. That's a good ass shot. God damn. My first gun is a 12 gauge semi-automatic Remington Browning, not Remington, Browning.
10 gauge.
12
gauge. Okay.
From Belgium.
Oh,
it is.
Those are
number
would that
one.
Have been 1970, 72?
Would have been 1940.
1940.
950.
The only reason I brought that up
when was the Korea War?
1973 is whenever they quit making Belgian model, and it all went to Japan.
So it was in the early 50s when my grandfather got shipped over to Korea.
Yep.
He bought a shit ton of guns while he was over there.
My grandpa gave me. I need to kill a deer with it. It's just so hard for me to break a gun out on a deer. But I have a 308 Browning lever action rifle.
I have a 30 lever action.
1971, the year before they went from Belgium to Japan.
Yep.
And
holy shit.
And the only thing that he didn't have on the gun was the magazine. And I hopped on eBay and I found one for that gun. It was like $250. I was like, oh, for a magazine.
From Belgium, though?
I think so.
It had to be. It is that price.
It fits it. It works. It may not, it's not the original part, but I'll never sell the gun anyways.
Right, yeah. That's the same with my first 22 single shot. That was my grandfather's first gun he ever got when he was like 7 years old back in the 1920s or 30s. I
also got a 7 mag, and if I ever do happen to draw out for a rifle elk, which someday I'll do it just to go do it. But I love my archery so much. But I do want to. It'd be cool to break out that 7 mag on a big old bull elk.
Yeah, it would be. Definitely would be. Okay, we're good. I'm just trying to time things out, everything. I guess let's wrap things up because you have a kid. It's getting late. I just saw the time.
Jesus, late.
Well, still, you need to be at home with your family.
Yep.
I don't want to keep you out too much. I apologize for the lateness, man.
Oh, it's fine.
All that and everything. I'm glad you got to tuck your girl in and everything.
Yep.
Like that's awesome.
Worked out perfect.
That is good. I'm glad everything worked out. Guys, I apologize for any of the inconvenience you guys have witnessed. There will be editing, and then there's probably going to be behind the scenes on Patreon. So you never know. Whatever. I generally don't edit. I usually just slap and go, but I will have to do a small little edit here and there. But Cade, you survived the HeleyCast. You are more than welcome to come back anytime. Like if you ever decide to do the content and want to promote it, more than welcome to come on. That's the whole point of the podcast. I do promotional for comedians, businesses. I do a little journalism here and there. I try to get local politicians on and try to, get a little dive into our own statehood and stuff like that. So
I got you.
Where can we find you, man?
Oh, I got Instagram,
because you got good
Facebook.
Pictures. You got some bucks that people need to see.
Instagram's probably the best way to go looking through some of my hunting adventures. Cowboy Up Brock.
Cowboy Up Brock. Okay.
I remember setting that up back when I was in college and I was wrestling. I set up Cowboy Up Brock.
How drunk were you?
No, I set it up because there was a book that John Smith put out called Cowboy Up.
That's right.
And I was like, you know what?
I remember a lot of you wrestlers were into anything John Smith, you guys.
I was biased. You know, I grew up. He was my uncle. Well, not biased.
No. I get what you're saying.
My uncle.
Yeah. I mean, any Stillwater kid that went to high school here, or just through this system, knows.
Oh yeah,
the Smith family.
Well, me and Joe started wrestling with each other
So
when we were like 6 or 7.
You grew up with Joe.
Yeah.
I grew up with Jared Dickey. So I got the basketball kind of side of things. You got the wrestling. Like I got to hang out with James and like all the. I got to do the Tony Allen, Ivan McFarlane, ball boy kind of stuff. I got to. So I got the same kind of experience.
Being a kid, me and Joe would be wrestling, and John was trying to make us tough, and he'd be like, "All right, Cade, get on your back. All right, Joe, put a headlock on him. All right, now get out." and you would stay down there till you found a way out, and then it'd be the other guy's turn, and it would always break out in one of us getting mad and throwing a punch, or it was pretty comical. I'm sure it would have been something that would have been unbelievable to watch.
I bet. The last story for me, I remember Jared Dickey and we got picked up by James's like secretary, or not. I don't want to call her a secretary, but an assistant to help him, with life basically. And I guess we showed up to it was when Sean was the coach at that time. We showed up to a closed practice. Mm-hmm. Well, Jared being Jared, thinking I'm family and you're with me, so it's fine. We're going to go sit in the, floor seats and just watch practice. It's whatever. We walked around the corner almost onto the court, and James was already yelling at us, like, get the F out of here. This is a closed practice. And we were like, okay. So we just left and just walked through Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, what was that all about? He's like, listen, I'm his own kid, and it's a closed practice, apparently. I had no idea. It's like, damn, I guess your dad doesn't even trust you. Like,
must be working on something top secret.
I think we were playing Kansas that week or whatnot, so it was you remember when Sean took over and we beat Kansas? Mm-hmm. I think it was maybe a week before that, or maybe a week after. One of the two, because we were on a roll at that point, with Sean. All right, enough storytelling. All right, guys, find him on Instagram at CowboyUpBrock.
Yep.
Wow, I actually remembered that. I'm actually proud of myself. And then like and subscribe this, guys. Yeah, anything helps, and I love you. No homo to the guys. And girls, I'm off the market, so it's not like that. But, I don't think any girls listen to this. If you do, thank you. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Peace. Love you.
Have a good one.
Whew. All right.
Better not forget that.
No, don't forget that. I hope you get a whole bunch of use out of it. It'll make me feel better. Hello, Mark Trotter. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the HeleyCast. What's up, Billy Freeman?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hello, Marty.
Oh, hey, buddy.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Next, how are you doing? What's your real name? What's your government name? That is my first question. I'm just going to go right off the bat and go. JJ Wood.
What's up? Long-time listener, first-time guest. Really excited to be here.
Y'all have headphones now? You get
I got
Healy, what year were you born? 97, 96?
95.
See, all right. Technically, you're a 90s baby, but you missed half of it.